Let's make way for Jack Nicklaus, who joins us on the program. Good morning, Jack. How are you?
Hey, Dan. How you doing?
Where are you right now?
I'm at home. I've been here for about 3.5 weeks in the house.
What are you doing to kind of keep your mind going?
Well, I'm calling Dan Patrick occasionally to see if he'll talk to me.
I know. I had to tell you, Jack, not today. Call me tomorrow. Here, let's do it on the anniversary.
I can do that again. I'm not doing anything else. I'm telling you. I'm sitting here. I think I watched Caddyshack about 4 times, and Stripes a couple of times, and a few Good Men. I think I've seen that a couple of times. I mean, you've watched a little bit of everything.
Is there a putting green or chipping area that you go out and can you do that?
Oh, I can, but I don't. I don't. I've got a little artificial putting green out and back, which I've had for about 7 or 8 years. I don't think I've ever hit a putt on it.
Really?
Well, I don't. Once I stopped playing golf, I just sort of, stopped doing that stuff.
This is the anniversary, I think, from your 72 Masters championship. But of all the championships, which one do you get the most questions about?
Well, I think obviously 86.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that 75 was a pretty good year, and that Weiskopf and Miller coming down the stretch. That was a heck of a tournament. But 86 is the one where I wasn't supposed to win, and nobody expected me to win, including me. I found lightning in a bottle, and it worked.
But also, when you go out and you just post a score, and then you're waiting, because normally you're usually in that final twosome. The difference between actually being out there competing with somebody or waiting to see what happens. How agonizing was that for you?
Well, I think that when we started the day, I was 4 shots back, and I had 8 players in front of me. And I thought that was reasonable. And my son Steve had called me in the morning, and he said, "What do you think, Pops?" And I said, "Well, Steve, I think 66 will tie, 65 will win." He says, "Exact score I have in mind. Go shoot it." So I had sort of a little bit of a feel. And of course, Jackie was on the bag, and we got going. We didn't get a very good start, and we were sort of just even through 8 holes. Then I birdied the 9th hole, and then birdied 10, birdied 11. Sort of got a little enthusiasm. Then I bogeyed 12, but then I turned around and birdied 13. Of course, then I eagled 15, birdied 16, and birdied 17. And that's when I got into the lead of the tournament. So once I got into the lead of the tournament, I finished, and all of a sudden, it looks like I've got a shot to win. I went into the Jones cabin and sat there and was sitting in a couch and watching. I watched Tom Kite miss his putt at the last hole, and then I watched Seve had already passed because he hit it in the water at 15. But Greg Norman start to birdie. He made I think like 4 or 5 birdies in a row, and I'm sitting on the couch and I said, "Yeah, he's making too many birdies for me sitting here." So I got up and walked around behind the couch, stood up and watched the last 2 holes. Birdied 17. I said, "Whoops, I'm going to stay here though." But there's nothing you can do about it. All you're sitting there doing is watching, and that's not usually been my mode. My mode is, you're right, being in one of the last couple of groups and playing for it right down to the end. But this time I was sitting there watching the last few groups, and I'll tell you, that's a little harder.
What did you save from 1986 Masters?
What did I what from it?
Save. Like clubs, your plaid pants.
Well, oddly enough, I have every single golf club that I ever won a major with except one. And you can guess what that is. That's that big putter. I think I know where it is. I think it's sitting in Billy Scanlon, the tennis player's living room at home. I think I gave it to him one time to play, and I think it stayed in his bag. But I know I got every other club that I ever played with, and that's the one I'm missing. So I'm missing that. I have the clubs, but from that tournament, I realized that if you put your mind to something, and I was relatively well prepared for the tournament, even though I was not in the peak of my game. And all of a sudden, I got to the last 9 holes, and I remembered how to play. And I remembered what it took to finish a golf tournament. And when you do that, that is so much fun. because all of a sudden I'm saying, okay, I got to do this, I got to do that, I can't do this, I can't do that. My abilities allow me to do this, my abilities won't allow me to do this, And all of a sudden, it all came together, and I finished the tournament. And that was what I came away with, is that I could still do something if you really put your mind to it.
But did you know you had lost that to then have to remember to get it back?
Well, I think everybody loses it. I mean, I know that your skills start to erode as you get into a certain age, and I was having more fun watching my kids play football and basketball and whatever, and so I wasn't working as hard at it, but the skills were there. They were just hidden, and so I had to go find them, and I really wasn't worried about pulling them out until all of a sudden I got myself in contention, and I needed to, and I did. So that was really very rewarding for me.
Talking to Jack Nicklaus, it was on this day, 1972, that he won his fourth of 6 green jackets. And you get to take them off site for a little while. Do you get to take them off for a year and then they have to go back to Augusta? Is that how the green jackets work?
Well, I never took mine off the site. I know that I remember Gary Player, the first time he won his, he got a call from Cliff Roberts, and he said, Cliff said to him, he said, "Gary, we can't find your green jacket. Do you know where it is?" He says, "Yes, Mr. Roberts, I've got it right here in South Africa." He says, "Well, it's not supposed to leave the property." He says, "Well, you can come get it anytime you want." But anyway, we got a big kick out of that. But I never took mine off the property, and oddly enough, I tell you a quick story. I never got my own green jacket. The first year I won, they put a 46 long on me, and I'm about a 43 regular. And so the next year I came back, there was a jacket in my locker. It was Tom Dewey's jacket, former governor of New York, and his jacket fit me perfect. And they never gave me a green jacket, so I wore Tom Dewey's jacket for the next 25 years. And finally, in 1998, they were going to do a thing between 16 and 17, a water fountain, a story about it. And I was sitting down with Jack Stevens, who was the chairman then. He said, I told him the story that I'd never been presented a green jacket. He said, "What?" He said, "All these years, everybody gets green jackets. You never got one?" I said, "Nope, I've never had a green jacket." And he says, so anyway, I went home for the weekend and came back. There was a note in my locker: "You will go to the pro shop, and you will be fit for your green jacket." So the first green jacket I ever had was 1998.
That's amazing. Amazing. What do you think Augusta is going to play like in November?
I think it'll play all right. I think the fairways will be the question. I don't know what they'll do. I don't know whether they'll overseed them early or wait until after the tournament to overseed them, because the Bermuda fairways would play beautifully in November. The greens will be fine. There won't be any problem with the greens. Obviously, you won't have the color throughout the course. But if they can get the fairways good, I think the golf course will play fine. They're going to have shorter days. There's a lot more daylight in April than there is in November. So the sun will be a little bit of a different problem. Probably November, not that much wind. I think they'll have a good tournament. I don't think there's any problem. I'm delighted that they're going to have it. I didn't think they'd be able to get it in. I thought with all the other tournaments and all the other commitments that the tour has, to put it together was tough. They're putting all the major tournaments in except the British Open canceled. But I think it's great that they're going ahead and getting the Masters in.
In normal times, could you just show up and play at Augusta if you wanted to? I mean, not the tournament, but just show up to play the course?
Yeah, any former champion can come and play anytime he wants, but he can't bring guests. Now, Arnold and I were the only 2 regular members of the course. We were invited to join sometime during our career, and I can take guests and play anytime I want to, but I guess I'm the only one now. But it's really neat to be able to have some friends and say, "Hey, how would you like to go up to Augusta for the weekend?" It's not many of them will drop what they've got to be able to go.
Well, I got to stay in the Eisenhower cabin and stay overnight there. And you just walk over to the grill room, and it was just a wonderful experience because nobody was there, and the caddies were wonderful. They're betting on you. I got traded on the first tee by a caddy. It was just it was fun. And the most fun I had was when I went to 12, because 12 as an amateur, we play at the same yardage that the pros do. And when you're up there and you go, it doesn't look that difficult. And then all of a sudden I'm in Rays Creek after hitting an 8-iron. I go, yeah, I get it. The optical illusion of it's beautiful, but it's incredibly challenging there. Do you have great memories of 12?
Oh yeah, the first year I played there, I was playing with a fellow named Roger McManus, and Roger hit a shot, and he hit it that went through the green, and I think Roger hit a 6-iron. Well, I said, I don't want to hit it through the green, so I hit 7-iron, and the ball ballooned right up in the air, and I made it about halfway across the creek, and I said, whoops, and so I figured out that you don't want to be throwing the ball real high in there. You want to keep it underneath the trees if you can. And for some reason, the hole plays much better left to right than it does right to left. Right to left, the ball goes across the green in the narrow side of it, and the green sort of works this way left to right a little bit and away from you. And so a left to right shot coming up the greens works in better, and it seems to work with the wind better. But I think I may have hit it in there another time during my career, but I didn't hit it in there very much after that first time. You learn what you did wrong, and then you go out and do in practice rounds and try to replicate what you were doing, and just sort of sit there and say, okay, I can't do that, I can do this, and you learn how to play it. But it's probably still I consider it probably the scariest par 3 in golf.
But, you have all the foliage. I mean, you have all the growth there, though, Jack. That's what it makes it seem like it's an optical illusion of it. Hey, that's beautiful. And then you realize, no, you got to put it on a small green. You don't want to go long with the bunker. You go short, it goes into the creek. The wind, as you're looking on 13, the wind above 13T, you just came off 11 with the flag, and you look at that, and I'm going, oh, my God, you could overprocess the information there.
Well, everybody overprocesses it, and you got to be a little bit lucky, and you got to sort of watch the wind. I don't know, I'm not sure which wind you watch, but you got to watch so that you don't get caught in a gust.
How many presidents have you played with?
Not that many. I was supposed to play with Eisenhower, and he got sick one day, and he ended up going around in an exhibition with Arnold and me, and then I played. Jerry Ford, I played a lot of rounds of golf with Jerry Ford. We played at Pebble Beach together quite often in the Crosby, and I played quite a few rounds with Clinton. Just played a few holes with H.W. Bush. Not played with George. We've been scheduled to play several times and never have made it. And of course, I played quite a bit of golf with Trump.
Now, out of that group, can you rank who's the best president you played with?
Well, they're all good presidents.
I mean, golfers as a golfer.
I think Trump's the best player.
Okay. All right.
Trump hits the ball quite nicely. He's pretty long. He's got a nice golf swing. He plays golf much the way I do now. He doesn't really care about a score. He goes out and hits the ball. If he hits it out of play, he says, "Okay, just give me another one." And he doesn't hold up play. Plays fast. He wants to have fun. Much like HW, he was not a scorer either. He just he wanted to play around the golf course. I understand that young George is a single-digit player and is a pretty good player now.
Oh.
But we haven't been able to put together. Clinton could have been a good player. He has a nice golf swing. I don't think he ever. He was one who just took so many mulligans that he never could find it. Which is all right. That was the way he played. He had fun, and so but Jerry Ford was a very serious golfer. He was about a 13, and he played to a 13. He'd shoot 84, 85, and he was a grinder, and he loved playing golf. Of course, he was an athlete, and he was a good athlete, and he just loved to play.
I'll leave you with this. Of all the years, and I've talked to you and everything I've read about you, I just realized that the mascot of your high school was Upper Arlington. Is that right? The Golden Bears?
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Is that where the nickname came from?
Well, it sort of came from there. In 1961, the year before I turned pro, or the fall when I turned pro, a fellow named Don Lawrence for the Melbourne Age in Australia wrote an article about me. Mark McCormick was down there, and he called me a cuddly golden bear in the article because I was large and blonde at the time. And so first contract I had was with a Revere Sportswear out of Boston. And they were looking for an emblem, and we kept going through all kinds of things, trying to find some kind of a crest or an emblem. And, I said, hey, guys, I like the golden bear. I was a golden bear in high school. I've been a golden bear all my life. Why don't we just stay a golden bear? And that's how it happened.
Wow. I did not know that. I forgot all about Upper Arlington and the Golden Bears. It's great to hear from you. Thanks for sharing, and hope you don't have to go back to Caddyshack and Stripes anytime soon, and maybe add something else to your TV repertoire.
If they put anything decent on, I would. or if I could figure out how to work Netflix.
Oh no, that's what you have grandkids for.
Oh, I know, and I'm telling you, I'm a electronic idiot. I am terrible. But anyway, Barbara and I have been watching them. We turn on a TV series and we watch about one series, and she says, "I don't like that." I said, "Okay." So we try another one, and she said, "I don't like that." I said, "Okay." So we keep fiddling, but anyway, we're getting through it, and we're doing all right.
Thank you, Jack. Great to talk to you. We appreciate it as always.
Okay, Dan. Nice talking to you.
That is Jack Nicklaus.